Hey, Truth Seekers, welcome back. Zach here. In this post, I want to document what's curious about the death of Christopher Lee. He was knighted in England in 2009, becoming Sir Christopher Lee. These are very Masonic rituals. Notice something else. The name Christopher Lee rhymes with 93. The word rhyme has a Pythagorean gematria of 33. There's a reason I'm telling you this. Notice his initials, CL. C is the third letter, L is the 12th, but in numerology, 1 plus 2 for 12 equals 3. So the initials CL are a lot like 33. Bring Christopher Lee back up here. So Christopher Lee, this man with the 33 initials, dies at 93. That is significant because all throughout history, 33 and 93 are paired. Think of September 11th, 2001, this date of tragedy. On that date, Flight 93 crashed in the Keystone State, Pennsylvania, with 33 passengers on board. On that same day, the World Trade Centers, which construction began in 68, came crashing down to the ground 33 years later, in 2001. The first plane to crash hit floors 93 through 99, reportedly. And years before that date happened, there was a 93 World Trade Center bombing, which came 3,119 days before September 11th. 3119. The World Trade Centers were first proposed and approved March 11th, 61, 311, and they came down on the 11th day of September. Truth Seeker, the reason all this is so is because we live in a world scripted by numbers, which are maintained by an occult elite who very much worship these numbers. For example, the number 93 is what the religion Thelema worships. The occult religion worships the number 93. The religion is about do what thou wilt and love. But I don't think the word love means to them what it means to us. I'll show you how Christopher Lee is very much connected to this. The other reason I bring up September 11th is because today is Thursday, and Thursday has a gematria of 116, 116. You flip that number upside down, it becomes 911. The word country also sums to 116. On November 6th of this last year, Star Wars released their trailer. I'll show how that connects. November 6th. Also on that date, we got the story from Chris Kyle. Or it wasn't Chris Kyle. The story of the man who claims to have shot Osama bin Laden. That story also came out November 6th. But let's just look at this in greater detail. Truth Seeker, also I want to point out that when I first heard this story about Christopher Lee dying at 93, I thought it was from today. And I got excited for that reason. I said, oh wow, he died today. I see a connection there. But I was also thinking in my head, his name's Christopher, which I know has a gematria of 67. And look at what date he died. 6/7, June 7th, matching Christopher. But the story wasn't reported until today, 4 days later, June 11th. So I'm going to cover all these things. I want you to fully understand why things are presented as they are. It's also possible that Christopher Lee's not even dead. Whether he's really dead or not, I do not know. I could make a case for both. But let's just start at the top. Here's CNN's article coming out today, June 11th, and they posted at 12:44. Again, the word kill sums to 44. The Masons love that number. G might stand for grand, a word which also has a gematria of 44. But let's just go through it. His full name is Christopher Frank Carandini Lee. The full name sums to 149. This number's standing out to me right now because the movie San Andreas released May 29th, 2015, a date with 49 numerology, the 149th day of the year. In that movie, the trailer was done with the song by the Mamas and the Papas, California Dreamin' from 49 years earlier. A lot of interesting things there with this number 149 lately. There's been a whole lot of 49 in the last year. He was born May 27th, 1922, a date with a numerology connection to 54. The word love has a simple English gematria of 54, just like the sun. They say the sun is 93 million miles away. Remember, Thelema is all about love. and the number 93. Everything is synced up by these numbers, Truth Seeker. We've been lied to with all these numbers encoded. I guarantee you the sun is not 93 million miles away. That is a hot load of bullshit. Just like the date September 11th and what we were told happened on it. He died on June 7th, 2015. This date has numerology connections of 21, 48, and 28. So often these celebrities die on dates that have a numerology connected to the day they were born on. Notice that 28 is connected to his birth and his death. The sun's on a 28-year solar cycle. There's also a 28-day solar cycle with the sun. And the word man has a simple English gematria of 28. 28, a significant number. I think all these numbers, in truth, have a significance. I wish I knew all their meanings. He was born in Belgravia, however you want to say it. Has gematria of 77, connecting to Judaism, connecting to America, the American meridians, the 77th meridian. The word Christ sums to 77. Christ was crucified on the cross. Jesus and cross both sum to 74, just like London, just like gematria, just like English, just like Messiah, just like Masonic. He died in Chelsea, which has connections to 53 and 26. The God number's 26. Religion in Pythagorean sums to 53. Numbers of significance. Wikipedia gives us the shot of him in 2013 at the Berlin International Film Festival. Remember, Berlin's one of those 33 words. Nazis came to power in 33. If you've never seen my video on Adolf Hitler, please go watch it. Eye-opening stuff everybody needs to know. Notice his career started in 46, 69 years ago. 46 is a reflection of the number 64. I bring that up because Thelema, the religion that worships 93, has a simple English gematria of 64. Do what thou wilt, their phrase in Pythagorean gematria sums to 64. Again, love and sun equal 54. He had that. Christopher Lee has that 54 connection. Truth Seeker, he was best known for being the evil wizard in The Lord of the Rings. I did this work on my blog December 2013. My written blog has been up since October 2013. I didn't write as much back then, but I wrote longer posts with more details. What stands out to me about this now movie series, and now what was once just a book series, is the second book released in the series. I want you to notice that the World Trade Centers, which we talked about in the beginning, were two giant buildings that made an 11 in the New York City skyline. Each building was 110 stories tall. They were proposed by David Rockefeller, approved by 49th Governor Nelson Rockefeller. The name Rockefeller has a simple English gematria of 110. Again, the buildings were 110 stories tall. Anyway, 11 is 1 plus 1 equals 2. So 11 has a numerology of 2 when you reduce it. The second book in The Lord of the Rings was called The Two Towers. It released 11/11/54. 11/11/54. A date with a numerology of 76, like the word master. And I'm telling you, these books, written right after World War II, were all part of the master plan that's actively being waged against us. A conspiracy of numbers. Think about what The Lord of the Rings is. A group of people willing to destroy the world over ultimate power, ultimate corruption. And that is exactly what's going on in this world. We could live on heaven and earth at this day and age with the technology we have, with the knowledge we have. If this world was about sharing, enlightening, caring, doing what's right for one another, it would be a completely different world. We would be happy, we wouldn't have the problems we have, and we wouldn't need to go to the movies to tune out from it. And remember here, we're talking about movies, stories, actors, distractions. Anyway, this book, released 11/11, has a direct connection to New York and the September 11th attacks. 11 times 11 is 121, the number of revelation. New York's established 7/26/1788. 7 plus 26 is 33, plus 88 more is 121. Number of revelation equals 121. If you multiply this times 6 like you do in English gematria, it sums to 726. Look at New York's establishment date. 726. Truth Seeker. Deeply coded world. The reason September 11th happened in New York, the 11th state, is because it's all part of this number synchronicity that's been built around us for a long time, that now even contributes to the death of Christopher Lee at 93. And if you've never seen my work on New York, New York's all about 39 and 93. The abbreviation NY equals 39. New York and Pythagorean sums to 39, just like the word empire, empire state. United Nations is of 39 floors. The new building, One World Trade Center, sums to 93, just like the New York Times. I'm so redundant, Truth Seeker, those of you who watch all my videos, but I have to be for the people who've never seen. They need to see what these numbers are all about, why this is happening, how all this stuff syncs up. It's all part of a master plan. From November 6th, Star Wars released their new movie title, The Force Awakens, 11/6, a Thursday. Thursday sums to 116 in simple English gematria. Notice that Star Wars, though, sums to 119, like 9/11 backwards, or in Europe, that date would be written 11/9. They write the day, then month. George Lucas sums to 113, like mainstream, like green screen, like dishonest. Guarantee you a fake name. The Force Awakens. Look at the gematria of this name, Truth Seeker. 33, 47, 74. J.J. Abrams talks about how they routinely code 47 and 74 into Star Trek. He works on these movies, the Star Wars movies, and a whole lot more. Darth Vader. Look at the name gematria. Darth Vader. Unbelievable. The Force Awakens also has a Pythagorean gematria of 82. Sort of like words like Armageddon. Something about J.J. Abrams and Carrie Fisher real quick, Truth Seeker. Just since we're on the Star Wars tip for a second, just to show you how these numbers run through. Carrie Fisher in Pythagorean gematria sums to 74. Born October 21st, 1956. A date with 33 numerology. Her character in the movie, Leah Organa, 47. Isn't it amazing? Oh, Truth Seeker. These people are so redundant. And even off of that trailer, Truth Seeker, when they did the trailer, it showed a black stormtrooper. Black, white. Black and white sums to 113 in simple English gematria. Isn't that something else? But anyway, stormtroopers wear all white. The guy takes off his mask. He's black. And then they made a big deal about it. Black. I mean, just... They've been using everything to fuel the racism war, even the Star Wars trailer. And again, it's all by the numbers. Look at the names involved in this, Truth Seeker. Too much. Too much. So Christopher Lee dying on June 7th, a date corresponding with his name at the age of 93, corresponding with Thelema. I've explained this in so many videos. Even in my recent NBA Finals, I talked about how the Warriors in Game 2 only had leads at 33 points and 93 points and lost. And I said, see, those are the numbers of sacrifice that they even routinely code onto celebrities when they kill them. And when I said that, you know what's funny when I said that, Truth Seeker? That game was on June 7th, the same day Christopher Lee died. And here it is happening. And again, Truth Seeker, what creeps me out the most are these posting times and how they sync up with the numbers. Posting at 6:04 like Thelema. Posting at 7:21. I really think these celebrities know more than we would think they know. They're in on it. But that's the message. If Christopher Lee really was murdered, R.I.P. If he faked his death, shame on him. But either way, we got to expose what's going on because this is a real sick cult and the mainstream masses are falling for it. All right, until next time. Encore Truth Seeker. I want to point out that World War III has a simple English gematria of 170. And as I said in the beginning of this video, the Lord of the Rings movies, which Christopher Lee was in, were once books that were written during the time of World War II through the end of the war. And that's a 3-part series. So far we've had World War I, World War II, and it is said that there will be a World War III that was written about by Masons of the past. Right now we're living in a time where many of us can see our entrance into World War III. You could argue it's already even in its earliest stages. The reason I point this out, though, Truth Seeker, is because Lord of the Rings in simple English gematria also sums to 170. A 3-part series ends with 3. The world wars might very well end with number 3. I just want to point out something else, Truth Seeker. World War has a simple English gematria of 114. Right now, there's a lot of focus on the number 114. We're living in the time of the 114th Congress. If you watched my videos on the NBA Finals, I've showed you how important this number has been to these finals this season. The last World War we were in was World War II. The big story out of that was the Holocaust. Another lie, another hoax, another 114 word. And what got us involved in the war was also a hoax. Our army base right next to Japan that Teddy Roosevelt once said we need to secure for the benefit of the white race. All history that's gone down the memory hole that no sheepish American knows a thing about at this day and age. They just think is Hawaii as the best vacation state. Not how it's right next to Japan where the hoax was waged. But Pearl Harbor, another 114 word. And the reason this is so is because all the governments that fought against each other in World War II are really all on the same side. Remember, the leaderships never die in this, just the people. The people who govern over the people don't care about the people. That's why they senselessly distract them with movies, entertainment, propaganda. The word propaganda itself is a 93-word Truth Seeker. In that regard, let us hope that the death of Christopher Lee is propaganda, because for whatever reason, I like to think that these people are faking their deaths more than they're being murdered. So that's pretty much the message. Hope you learned a thing or two or 20 things new. All right, until next time.